Hey, this is Stephen Key. Thank you for watching. Today I'm going to share a story with you that I haven't shared with probably very many people. It's a story about some of the difficulties and obstacles that I think we all have, and a few obstacles I definitely have. And so I think by sharing this story it might help, hopefully help someone. One of our coaches, Sylvia, had asked me, Steve, you never talk about your learning disability. You have written about it, but you never really talk about it because a lot of people, I think, might have similar issues. So I'm going to start at the very beginning. First of all, thank you, Sylvia, for even mentioning this idea. It's a little uncomfortable, but I'm just going to dive in. Everyone, when I was in second grade, school was not easy for me. I mean, who flunks the second grade? Every time I would take a test, I was getting an F. And I was so embarrassed by it that I didn't share it with my parents. I just took my papers home and I hid them. My father had built a tree house in the backyard, and underneath this blanket in the tree house, I would put all the papers underneath the blanket. And before you know it, there's this big pile of papers that were F's or D's, because I didn't want to share it. I was embarrassed. So sure enough, my parents saw this big lump underneath the carpet, and before you know it, they found out that I was struggling in second grade. So they went ahead and provided me with tutors, but it really just didn't work. They actually put me in special classes, and that didn't work very well either. So moving forward, because I was so tall and I was fairly talkative, I wasn't shy. I was shy in class, but I wasn't a shy guy. All the teachers just passed me along. You know, that's what they did back then. They didn't know what issues I was having, but I was having a very difficult time with spelling, pronouncing words, which I still screw up all the time. It was just a tough time for me. So now I'm in high school and I'm 6'3". I love to play basketball and I'm going to go out for the team. And sure enough, you have to have I think a C average. Well, my grades were terrible, and I knew they were going to be terrible because school was not my thing. Well, my parents, once again, they stepped up and they provided tutors for me all during the week, and all through high school I had tutors. And it helped a little bit, not that much, but I would study extremely hard. I have a pretty good photographic memory, so I could see something, I could repeat it, and I could just fake my way through all the tests. So I was able to graduate high school, and I was accepted to Santa Clara University, which is a great school. I'm really surprised they accepted me, but they did. And I realized very quickly, I became a business major, but I realized very quickly I was drowning. The class load was a little difficult for me. There's a tremendous amount of reading. I was not doing very well on the tests. So just by chance, I needed a break and I took an art class. They had this one building off campus, and it was an art studio. And I went in and I signed up for that class, and I fell in love working with my hands. And I knew this is what I wanted to do. So I went home and I told my dad, I said, look, I want to be an artist. And he kind of looked at me kind of funny. He says, well, you like to draw? And I said, well, no. And he says, well, you must like to paint. And I said, no. But he gave me permission to pursue my dreams. And my father had told me that if you find something you really like to do, you'll never work a day in your life. So I took that jump. I jumped off the cliff and transferred over to another school, San Jose State, and I enrolled in the art department. I was an art major, and I soon realized that wasn't really the right place for me. I was never going to be this fine artist. So I left. You know, I graduated, although I didn't really graduate. I was 3 units short. because my silkscreen teacher did not pass me. Can you believe that? So I leave, and I realize because of my difficulty putting sentences together and pronouncing words incorrectly, I just didn't think anybody would ever hire me. So I kind of panicked, and I just thought, well, I'm just going to make things and bring them out to county fairs, state fairs, any place I could set up a table and sell something I could make. I was going to create my own job. I didn't need a job. I was going to create my own job. And that's what I did for years, and it worked. I learned a lot about what people wanted. I could test ideas very, very quickly. But basically, it was just survival mode for me. I just didn't think I had skills that anybody would care to hire me. And fast forward, I got a job at Worlds of Wonder. I think everybody realizes that. They never asked for a resume. My portfolio looked pretty good. So I just kind of went along with outside the system a little bit, and was very enthusiastic, worked extremely hard, and I was very determined. So I've had these obstacles along the way, I guess, my whole life. And I've been fairly quiet about it. In fact, so quiet, I would say I was hiding the fact that I couldn't put two sentences together. And I was embarrassed, right? And I think we probably all have something that we're embarrassed about, but that was the thing that really bothered me. So fast forward, further on now, I get married, and I have these 3 wonderful kids, and my wife didn't even really know about it. I was so good at keeping that a secret until I decided I should go back and get my degree. So I called up San Jose State, I spoke to the dean, and she was so kind. She said, "Sure, Steve, we'll get you started again." But she said, "You've been out for so long, you're going to have to take more than just that one class. You're going to have to take English and all these other classes that were going to be hard for me." And I said, "Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it." And that was it. Kind of walked away, but by chance she called me about 6 months later and said, "Steve, we're not going to let this go. You need to graduate from San Jose State University." And I said, "Well, it's going to be too hard for me." And she said, "Have you ever been tested?" And I said, "No." So she said, "Why don't you get tested and let's see what type of learning disabilities you have." So I'm in Turlock. I'm 50 years old now, and I was tested at this learning center in Turlock, California. And I remember taking the test. I hate taking tests. And sure enough, I get nervous, I'm stressed out, I take it, and I know I just did terrible. And sure enough, I came in a couple of weeks later. They wanted to share their results with me, and I knew that the results were going to be awful. And sure enough, the first thing they said out of their mouth, "Mr. Key, you didn't do very well on this test." And I said, "Well, no surprise to me." They said, "In fact, you did so poorly, we're surprised there's anything you can do to make a living." And I explained that I create ideas and I license those ideas to companies. They were shocked by it. And I just said, "Look, I found a way of overcoming my obstacles. And I'm a big believer that we all can, and we all have them. And that's why I'm talking about this issue, because there's things that we're not going to be very good at, but I also believe it doesn't matter. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way to get it done." All right? And that's what my 10-step process is really all about, was finding a way that I could do it that was really simple. It was so simple. People are so surprised it's so simple. But it allowed me to get my ideas in front of companies. If they liked it, they would license those ideas from me and pay me a royalty. And I kind of created my own world. So I wanted to share this story with you because I do know a lot of us are struggling. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to have insecurities. I know what that's like. But I also know that you can overcome anything. I currently write for 3 online magazines. I write books, I do lectures, I do everything that I was afraid to do. But I found a way to do them. I found a way to find my passion, because I think you all know I love this business so much I can never give enough back. I found a way to deliver my content in books and articles. I have a full-time writer. I talk into my phone and they rewrite it to make me sound somewhat intelligent. And I'm not worried about screwing up. I'm not worried about making mistakes. I'm not worried about pronouncing words incorrectly. I'm not worried about it because I'm passionate about helping you bring your ideas to market through licensing. And if I screw up, so be it. And am I ashamed of my learning disability anymore? No, not at all. In fact, I'm really happy I got that monkey off my back that I can talk about it, because I know we all struggle at times. And I'm probably the most insecure person you're ever going to meet. But I overcame that, and you can overcome any of the obstacles that are in front of you. Thank you for watching. Keep on watching our channel, InventRight TV. Subscribe down below. Tell your friends. And I'm going to keep delivering the best information I can. Once again, this is Stephen Key. Thank you very much. Hi, this is Stephen Key, and I just want to thank you for watching InventRight TV. We're here to save you time, save you money, and show you how you can bring your products to market through licensing. So please subscribe down below, click on the button, and tell your friends. Thank you.